Hi, this is Dyce Kimura. I'm a Miami guitar teacher, and I just wanted to do a video blog today to cover the topic that I've heard a lot of people ask me, which is should I start learning on acoustic guitar or electric guitar? Okay, and that's a very common question, especially for beginners. Okay, and I just want to say to set the tone that a lot of people think that they should start playing on acoustic guitar. Okay, and I've had a lot of experience teaching all different ages and men and women and boys and girls and everything in between. And it's been my experience that people actually learn the fastest and learn the easiest on electric guitar as opposed to learning it first on acoustic guitar. Okay, I want to go through the reasons why it's easier to learn on electric guitar, in my opinion. But I also want to say that this is not set in stone. You can get very good learning on acoustic guitar, and you can get very good learning on electric guitar. The bottom line is if you're committed to learn, you're going to learn. Okay, so whether you're committed to learn on acoustic or committed to learn on electric, if you just don't quit, you're going to get good. But there are some variables of differences between acoustic and electric that can make it easier for the first couple of months. Okay, so the biggest challenge when you're first learning how to play the guitar is fretting the notes, finding the fingerings of the chords, and the acoustic. A lot of people, by the way, this is an acoustic guitar. This is my acoustic guitar. It's a Martin HD35. A lot of people think that um, that the acoustic is easier because you don't have to plug it in. Okay, or I don't know why they think that, but they think it's easier just because it's simpler. And they call this a normal guitar. They say I don't have an electric guitar. I have a normal guitar. The I just want to say that the acoustic guitar is a normal guitar, and I also want to say that the electric guitar is also a normal guitar. Okay, both guitars are normal. Okay, um, there are no abnormal guitars in this scenario. Just to be fair to both the acoustic and electric guitar, both guitars are equally normal or equally abnormal. Okay, so the myth is that it's easier to play the acoustic than it is the electric. So why is it easier to play the electric as opposed to the acoustic, and why do people tend to gravitate toward thinking the other way around? Well, for one, the electric has thinner strings, and so they're easier to push and play. Let me grab my electric. Excuse me. Here's my electric. Okay, so the electric guitar has thinner strings, and so it's easier to push the notes down. This is an electric. This is a Fender, Stevie Ray Vaughan's signature. At least it used to be until I modded it. The neck is smaller, so it's easier to grab. The strings, as I said, are lighter, so it's easier to push. Okay, and then because it's electric, the sounds jump out easier. And believe it or not, the electric guitar can do all the same sounds an acoustic guitar can do. Okay, um, maybe I'll prove it to you in a second. I'll just fire up my guitar and show you. But the electric guitar can do everything the acoustic can do and more. Okay, so if you're sitting in a room and playing, the electric guitar can have all the nice, gentle, warm tones, the nice acoustic soft tones that the acoustic guitar has. Okay, and it can do overdriven tones, which can be funner or more fun for a teenager. Okay, there's a lot more instant gratification. The disadvantage is the acoustic is a lot more mobile, obviously, than the electric. You can take the acoustic to the beach, you can take it to a picnic, you can take it to your friend's house, you can take it from your room to the couch, and it's mobile. But if mobility is not what you desire, if what you actually are desiring to do is to learn to play the guitar no matter what, you should probably want to embrace the electric. Now, a main question I ask people when they go to start with me is what kind of music do you like? And so if you tell me, well, I mostly listen to, James Taylor and Jack Johnson and Jason Mraz and Simon and Garfunkel, Then I would say, well, clearly you need to play acoustic. You know, Neil Young, Jewel, you know, these people, even Sheryl Crow. These people are prominent, dominant acoustic players. Okay. If, however, you say, well, what kind of music you like? And you're like, well, I like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Guns N' Roses and Green Day and Metallica, then I would strongly urge you to play the same type of guitar that your heroes play. In other words, play electric. Now, I also want to say that I, personally, I play both acoustic and electric all day long, all the time. Matter of fact, let me show you some of my guitars. I don't think they're all on the stand right now, but here's just a few of them. And notice all the way to the left, you can see my bass, and then I have a few Strats and a 335. I've got a Yamaha nylon string, classical, that's a Taylor 814. Next to that, acoustic, and then a Telecaster, a Les Paul. There's all different types of guitars. I even have a ukulele. I play everything with strings. I play bass, acoustic, classical, electric. I'll play whatever. So I'm a committed guitarist, and I'll play anything. Okay. So just to recap, the electric is easier because, for one, the neck is smaller, so it's easier to play. This is especially true for women, for girls, or for children. You can have a way easier time playing the electric than acoustic. Also, the strings are thinner, and so it's a lot easier to play. And believe me, these two are huge variables. Okay, they're huge. In case you don't understand, I'm assuming you're watching this video just to do some research and learn. So let me help you with that. Okay, for real. The other big variable is the electric is electric. Okay, as the name infers. Okay, an electric guitar is electric. So I want you to compare it to other things in your life that are electric. Like, for instance, you ever try to learn to type on an old-fashioned typewriter? And you remember, you know, some of you got to be older to actually have experience typing on a real old-fashioned vintage analog typewriter that doesn't plug into the wall, okay? And you have to actually hit those keys hard enough to drive that key to punch it into the paper to type the words. You know, nowadays I'm typing with my Bluetooth wireless Mac keyboard, okay? Effortless, okay? My hands just fly on the page. It even autocorrects. So basically, electrically, it's so much easier because the electricity does the work for you. In other words, when you play acoustic, you have to physically manufacture and generate your volume and your I'll generate that energy to make the song to come out of your instrument. But with electric, it pretty much just jumps right off the neck. Okay, and it's the same with, you know, anything else in life, like a vacuum cleaner or whatever. You just plug it in and use it. There's huge advantages to sound. This is my electric, and notice how pretty and clean these tones are. Okay, and compare that to an acoustic, which I'll do right now. Okay, and then you have very similar. By the way, a lot of people are surprised when they hear that. They come into my studio office for like a consultation or whatever, and I play both instruments in this way, and they're surprised that the electric can sound so good, so gentle. And I just want to make that clear to you, because a lot of people have this stigma that electric guitar means hard rock or, you know, something distasteful in their opinion. And it doesn't have to be that way. As a matter of fact, when I really talk to these people, it turns out a lot of their favorite bands have dominant electric guitars, like, for instance, the Eagles. It's gently done, it's nicely done, but there's definitely electric in there, okay? So that's some of what I wanted to share with you. Okay, so yeah, the electric is easier than the acoustic. Now, everything that you learn on the electric guitar can be transferred over to the acoustic in terms of these frets are in the same places as these frets. Okay, oops. And these strings are the same tuning and name as these strings. Okay, so a song that you learn on acoustic, you can transfer and play it the exact same way on electric, and vice versa. Now that's just for beginner level. As you get more advanced, there's definitely techniques that you play on electric that are pretty much only for electric, and there's techniques for acoustic that are mainly for acoustic. However, things that you learn on acoustic, you can generally tend to transfer that over to electric. Not everything you learn on electric you can transfer over to acoustic, but most of it you can. But with acoustic, everything you learn on acoustic can transfer over to electric. And every stringed instrument is the same. So for instance, things you learn on bass transfers over to guitar. Things you learn on electric guitar transfers over to acoustic. So the bottom line is, if you end up being an actual guitar lover, a guitar aficionado, a guitar connoisseur, a guitar player at heart, you actually won't care. Like me, I'll play acoustic, electric, I'll play nylon, classical, it doesn't matter. Now, in my particular case, in case you're wondering, I learned to play on a classical guitar. On not only was it acoustic, but it was nylon string. It was very big, it was very cumbersome, it was very difficult. And I did that for 6 years until I switched over to electric. Now, I made it through because I did the thing I said at the beginning of the video. I just didn't quit. No matter what the odds, no matter how difficult it was, no matter how hard the challenge was, I didn't quit. When I was 5 years old, I told my parents I wanted to play guitar. They finally got me a guitar when I was 6. And I was listening to Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction at the time, and they got me guitar lessons to go learn to play Mozart, okay? Which I did. And I hung in there for 6 years. And then finally I got a job, and I bought my own guitar, and I went on to play Guns N' Roses. It took me a long time, but notice I did not give up. So that tends to be the principal rule here. If you don't quit, you'll eventually find what's going to work for you and how it's going to work. I want to talk about pricing a little bit, okay? Guitar costs have come down so much in the last couple of years. You can get a very high quality instrument for a very low price. As a matter of fact, I just did a review on YouTube of an Epiphone PR150, which I believe it depends on where you're looking, but it's around the $150 range. Okay, as of the recording of this video, it's August of 2016. So with inflation, you never know where prices are going to end up. But I also recently did a review of a very good beginner electric guitar, Fender Squire. It's also on my YouTube channel, just a few videos back, and that is $130 roughly, 130, 140 depending on where you buy it. Now the electric, you need to buy the guitar, you need to buy a cable like this, and you need to buy an amp. An amp, a good cheap amp that is going to be worth the money. I like the PV Viper. I'm going to be doing a review on that shortly, actually. If you look at my channel, you'll find a review of the PV Viper. That runs right now for $129, and then the guitar is another $130. Plus, you're going to need a cable, which is $10, plus a tuner, which is roughly another $10. So you're looking at $260, $270, $280. Maybe with shipping, $300 total. If you get everything like through Amazon, about $300, you can get a basic beginner guitar package. For the acoustic, you can get a Epiphone PR150 for about $150. You'd need a tuner for about $12, and that's about it. You'll need picks and strings, but it is a little cheaper to get the acoustic. Like I said earlier, if you're really committed, you should probably get both. But if you can only buy one, I think you should start on the electric. And don't take my word for it. Go to your local music store and try to play both. And maybe make the salesman or whatever, teach you a chord, and try to sit there and strum it and really picture yourself sitting with that instrument for 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, and see how it feels like. Put a strap on it, see what it feels like to stand up and play, to sit down and play, and get some outside help, get some other advice. But it's kind of an old idea that you have to start on acoustic. It's kind of like a 70s idea or like a baby boomer idea. It's now 2016 and people are embracing electricity more and more, I'm happy to say. And so electric guitar is not considered wild, crazy, dangerous, out of control, or something that should be avoided as a beginner. It's no big deal. You just plug it in the wall and use it, just like any other appliance in your house. So that's what I wanted to discuss in terms of acoustic versus electric. But I just wanted to leave you with this. The main thing that I think you should consider is not just ease in playing your instrument, but who are your favorite guitar players? If you're hesitant to throw down the cash, the $300 for the electric, or $160 or whatever for the acoustic, if you're hesitant to throw down that kind of money, then first do a little research and find out who your favorite guitar players are, and do they play acoustic or electric? That's like a huge question, So if you want to play Metallica and Pearl Jam and Red Hot Chili Peppers, anything mainstream like that, that's rock or pop or alternative, you definitely want to be playing an electric guitar. If you end up listening to a lot of like Dave Matthews and Jack Johnson and Jason Mraz and just purely acoustic stuff, then play acoustic. Acoustic, there's other things to consider too. For instance, if you're more of a singer and you're like a singer slash songwriter, like a singer-songwriter, the acoustic might be more conducive to what you're trying to do. If you're going to go the acoustic singer-songwriter route and you really do plan to play in like open mics and cafes, then you probably want to get an electric acoustic, and that's an acoustic that has an electric port to plug into, so you can plug it into the PA system of the club you're playing at. If you're not a singer, then that opens up a lot of other doors and you can just play electric and have fun at doing that. If you're not sure, then maybe start on electric. Another trick you can do, if you live near a major music store, like I'm based out of the Miami area, and we have Guitar Center here, and there's some other major music stores in the area, but a lot of them will have a 30-day money back policy. So you could just throw down the $300 and buy the electric guitar, for instance, with the amp and the cable, and then just keep it in good condition and try it for a month and take lessons and everything and try it. And if it's working for you, you keep it. And if it's not working, just return it and get a 100% refund, and then get an acoustic and try that and see if that works for you. So there's really zero risk. You can put it on a credit card and just try it out. A lot of my students have done that. If you come to my place, I can let you play both my acoustic and electric, and you can make an informed decision. But I'm telling you, most people, before they buy the guitar, they come see me and they book a free lesson, and then I let them play an acoustic and I let them play an electric. And usually at the end of the lesson, they're like, I want the electric. It's easier. They're 9 out of 10 cases want the electric. 1 out of 10 want the acoustic. I usually support their decision either way. If they want an acoustic, I'm like, okay. But I do tell them the acoustic is going to be more work, especially for children and especially for girls. Just because the the sheer strength that it takes to play that instrument and the size of the hand and so forth. But like I said, if you are committed to playing, you should eventually get both. By the way, it's healthy in your development to play both acoustic and electric simultaneously, okay? In other words, don't bet everything on one style. Like, a great technique that you should do in terms of getting good is take a cheap acoustic and put it on the couch in your living room. Don't put it on a stand. Don't put it in the case. Leave it on the couch. And then when you're watching TV and it's commercial time, you can strum a few chords and sing a song. Or when it's right there on the couch and your family's going to go out and your mom has to spend an extra 10 minutes to get ready, or your wife is taking an extra 20 minutes to fix her hair, you can just strum a few chords, and you don't have to carve out time to practice, you can just start having it accessible on the couch or in every room of your house. You just keep a cheap guitar there. And it's good to, it's portable, so it's good to have both. And really, if you can, I encourage you to have both acoustic and electric. Okay, long term, that's a better bet. Okay, if you're going to get good. So anyway, that's it in the way of this video. Feel free to leave a comment, like it, subscribe to me if you want to get more free tips and updates and gear reviews and lessons. But if you have any questions, comment. I do make a point to answer every comment or at least read them. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from your feedback. All right, thanks so much. I'm out.